I want to bring in Democratic Congressman from California, Robert Garcia. Now he's a member of the House Oversight Committee, which is the committee holding that impeachment hearing inquiry tomorrow. Congressman, thanks for being here. So let's start with the shutdown. Whether it is the Senate or the House that moves first, the shutdown deadline is just 3 days away. We keep saying it. Realistically, can any deal get done before then, or is it already too late given all of the steps procedurally that have to happen for any vote?
Well, we obviously want to avert a shutdown. I mean, that's what House Democrats are united on. But unfortunately, Kevin McCarthy has essentially empowered folks like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene to completely control their caucus. I mean, here we are just 2 days from over 2 million jobs across the country being impacted. And just in my home state alone, hundreds of thousands of jobs. And by the way, most of the federal workforce is not in Washington, D.C. And what are we talking about? We're talking about this sham impeachment just 2 days before. And so it's really shameful what's happening. We want to go ahead and fund this government. This is a deal that was already negotiated by President Biden and Kevin McCarthy months ago. And so to be back at this place where essentially the most extreme voices in Washington are controlling the agenda, want to slash funding for veterans, want to slash funding for health care, it is not acceptable. So it's really frustrating to see.
So, Congressman, we heard from Speaker McCarthy as we bumped in from break what he was saying this morning. He's been saying something similar now for a couple of days as he's trying to sort of punt responsibility for a shutdown. He's trying to put responsibility on the president here. Take a listen to this.
The House is working on passing 73% of all the appropriation bills of the job we're supposed to do by Thursday. We're bringing up on Friday ability to fund the government, but at the same time secure our border. So yes, we're doing our job. So what does the president have to do with that? If he wants to sit and hide in the White House and put the government into a shutdown, that's on him.
Congressman, first, how do you respond to McCarthy trying to shift the blame to the president?
I mean, Kevin McCarthy should get an Academy Award for that performance. I mean, he has already, we know, negotiated the deal in front that we should be moving forward funding this government without all of these cuts. I mean, that happened months ago. And so to say now and try to put blame on anyone but himself and folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who he has empowered in his conference, essentially given the keys away to his speakership, is completely ridiculous. We have to fund this government. It's completely irresponsible that Kevin McCarthy is choosing to turn his back, trying to put blame on the White House or the president or House Democrats. And the truth is, there are also many Republicans within his caucus that also want to fund the government, yet he won't listen to them. He only wants to focus on the most extreme voices. So we're going to be here in Washington, do everything we can to avert this while continuing to call out all the lies, the spectacle, the politics, and the empowerment of these fringe voices within the far right. The MAGA extremists want to shut down this government. Make no mistake about it. They do not want a deal. They want federal workers to be hurt. They want the economy to be hurt. They want people to lose their health care. And this is something that we've got to fight back on. We've got to tell the truth about. And most importantly, keep calling Kevin McCarthy out for his lies.
Okay, so pointing fingers isn't going to help solve this problem. I do want to real quickly read what we just saw in a tweet from the president moments ago. Funding the government, he writes, is one of the most basic responsibilities of Congress. It's time for extreme Republicans in the House to start doing the job America elected them to do. We have time. Let's get it done. Congressman, a new Washington Post ABC News poll found that 40% of Americans would blame Biden and Democrats in Congress on the shutdown if it happens. 33% would blame Republicans in Congress. 19% would blame both. So now let's talk about what are Democrats doing right now to avoid a shutdown?
Well, first, President Biden is absolutely right. It is the job of Congress to get this done and to fund the government. And right now, Congress is controlled by extremist MAGA Republicans led by Kevin McCarthy, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Matt Gaetz. We're seeing, and we have seen time and time again, that Kevin McCarthy cannot deliver. He has put numerous votes up in front of his caucus. They refuse to move forward. Now he's trying to link
respectfully, you said that, though, already. So what are Democrats doing? Can Democrats be proactive here?
Yeah. I mean, look, respectfully, that's also the truth. I mean, the other piece of it is this, is that Democrats have already said that we want to fund the government. We're already working with the White House. We already have a plan. And don't forget that right in front of us, this has already been negotiated. And so the Republicans still have a couple days. They know that we want to vote to fund the government. The Senate, by the way, they're colleagues. Republicans in the Senate also think what's happening right now on the House is crazy. So we're going to get something from the Senate here, hopefully in the next day or so. We hope it's a good package, and we hope we can bring together Republicans and Democrats on our side in the House to actually get something done. And there are a group of Republicans that also want to move forward, that think what's happening right now is crazy. So there is some common ground there, but Kevin McCarthy's got to put it up to a vote.
And so let me now ask you about what's happening in the House Oversight Committee tomorrow, this impeachment hearing into President Biden led by Republicans. We now know 3 witnesses are expected to be there: a forensic accountant, a former assistant AG in the tax division, and a law professor. What do you plan to ask these 3 witnesses?
Well, look, first, I think some of the witnesses on the Republican side aren't really experts. I mean, some of them are political pundits, so I think it's important to note that. But I think what's really critical here is that Republicans are focused on an impeachment inquiry 2 days before this shutdown. We know that as of today, and it's been said in your reports, there has been zero evidence linking any sort of business deals between Hunter Biden and the president. Hunter Biden is a private citizen. He is going through the justice process. He's going through judicial review. There's obviously an open case investigation going on, and he needs to go through that and be held accountable through that process. But the president there has been zero evidence linking that business deal. And so this is essentially just a bunch of theater, it's political maneuvering, and we know what it's really about. It's about re-electing Donald Trump. And they've made this clear already. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene has made this public already. And so this is all about what they can do to strengthen Donald Trump as a nominee for president. So we're going to fight back tomorrow. We're not going to let any single lie go unanswered. We're going to make sure that the American public knows that the president is doing everything he can to move the country forward, and that this impeachment inquiry is completely a sham.